bedroom and head to bed myself. Having napped for a while yesterday evening, I wake up earlier than usual this morning. Long before my largely unnecessary alarm clock can wake me up, I rise from my bed and begin to stretch. Unfortunately, even though I've woken early, there is no reason for me to be awake at such a time. It isn't yet warm enough to work, and there are no time-sensitive activities in my list of things to do. All I've done is deny myself a sleep-in. I guess I'll go check on the girls. Maybe they have something they want to do this morning. I walk into the living room, half expecting to see Marari cooking and Fuyu sitting on the floor behind her impatiently. Surprisingly, however, still asleep. The two wolf girls are yet to awaken. Huh, looks like I'm the first one up. I guess they're too comfortable to move, and the way they are now. Watching over the two for a moment, a smile naturally begins to creep onto my face. Marari and Fuyu settle together, sharing one another's body warmth, resting on the other's fur, and generally finding pleasure in being with the other. If not for the cuteness of their action, I'd probably be jealous. What am I thinking? This is nothing to be jealous of. In fact, I should be thinking of ways to get rid of them even one day sooner. It's for their sake and mine that we go our separate ways as soon as possible. Everyone knows that humans and half-humans aren't supposed to get involved with one another. We're too different, and having one try to integrate into society of the other will only result in pain for both sides. Over the years, many cautionary tales have been told regarding humans and half-humans getting along. Humans feeding starving half-humans only to then become their desserts. Half-humans seeking refuge in human homes and ultimately slaughtering the families within and stealing their shelter. There have even been cases of mass killings on both sides, starting with nothing more than subtle differences in the ways of life. In hindsight, I've taken on a pretty substantial risk by taking a half-wolf, a member of one of the most aggressive and bestial races into my home. That being said, looking at the two right now, it's hard to imagine either one of them turning on me. Hell, Marari acts more human than most of the people I've ever known, and she certainly knows her way around the kitchen better than I do. Speaking of which, prying myself away from the adorable sight, I walk into the storeroom in search of something easy to cook for breakfast. When I start to prod around the storeroom, however, I quickly realize something important. Oh man, where'd all the food go? I thought I had enough to last until summer. I know those two eat a lot more than I do, but we shouldn't have gone through that much food already. Perplexed, I scratch my head. It's possible that Marari may have moved the rest of the supplies when she was cleaning up, but without knowing where she moved them to, that thought does me a little good. I guess I'll go make a trip into town after all. I was hoping to put this off until summer, but in a way, this might be for the best. A more up-to-date map would be helpful after all, and I do need to gather information about the recent changes to the terrain. Off to town I go then. Without dallying any further, I grab my keys and head to the side of the house. I then jump to my truck, turn the key, and start to rev up the engine. Oh, come on, you stupid thing. It hasn't been that long since I last drove you. Continue to rev the engine and attempt to warm the truck up. Unfortunately, my efforts seem to result in nothing but an increased level of noise. Come on, you good for nothing. Huh? No, we've frightened them. Stay away from the princess, you. The hell? Turn to look towards the house only to find that I've woken my guest. Rather than address me personally, however, the two girls seem to be fixated on my truck. Fuyu, look, it has Topsy. It does too. Give him back, beast. I'll cut you with my claws if I have to. Be careful, Fuyu. We don't know what's capable of. What the fuck? You two got in the car when I saved. Don't worry, princess, I've got this. Fuyu slowly approaches, her hair is standing on end, her claws are ready by her side, and her teeth are bared. I'll help too. We're coming for you, Topsy. Right behind her, Marari steps forward to warily. Armed with a frying pan from the kitchen, Marari looks like a frightened housewife rather than a wolf. Nonetheless, she comes forth bravely, ready to fight my truck for the sake of freeing the person trapped within. Girls, please, stop that. I'm sorry I scared you, but I'm fine, really. And Fuyu, you've seen my truck before, remember? I can still hear the human speak from what's in his belly. Topsy must be okay. Yeah, but not for long. We need to get him out of there before the beast finishes digesting him. How do we do that? Do you know how to fight this thing? No, but I would just think, but it's no different than any other beast. Tear his throat out with your teeth and it'll die. Tear it? That couldn't possibly. Don't worry, princess, I'll do it. No, don't you do it either. Let's go back into the cabin, okay? This hunk of junk is nothing for you to get worked up about. Who are you? Don't listen to a princess. The beast is mimicking Topsy's voice, so we'll get that out guard down. As soon as we turn our backs, it'll pounce. Oh, for the love of... Before Fuyu can press the paint on my truck, I turn the engine off and hop out. Look, I keep telling you I'm fine. Whoa. Topsy. Oh, thank goodness you're alright. I was so scared. Oh, excuse me. Oh. I heard a ferocious rumbling the moment I woke up, and when I came to see what it was, the beast had already eaten you whole. I saw you were too late, and that you. I exhaled deeply and placed my hand on Mahari's head. There, it's alright. This thing doesn't seem to be worried about. But, Topsy. Ha! Is it truly dead? With Mahari's face buried in my chest, I watched in honest amazement as you continuously poke my truck with her claws. You don't need to do that. It's a machine just like the kettle or the television. It isn't going to hurt you. I can't believe that. This creature has already devoured you whole once. If it isn't dead, then what is to stop it from doing so again? Scratching my head in confusion, I try to think of a way to explain to Fuyu how vehicles work. Given her reaction to the noise and the commotion it had generated so far, however, it's maybe easier said than done. Hurry-headed. You know what? I tamed it. I tamed the beast. Under my control now, it won't harm anyone ever again. Oh, I see. Amazing. It's expected of Topsy. They won't accept that as a machine, but they bought that explanation straight away. Good grief. Already far more suspect than I should be, given the time of day. I sigh once more and walk the girls back inside. Alright girls, I'm back. I have enough canned food to last for 3 winters, even taking into account Fuyu's appetite. I also bought a new map and some rechargeable batteries for the radio. Who wants to help me unload the truck? Preferably without attacking it. Girls? Enter the cabin surprised to find it both quiet and empty. As I walk through the cabin, I soon hear the sound of someone talking, though I can't yet make out what they're saying. Girls? That's why I'm telling you we need to go now. What do you think is going to happen if we keep wasting our time here? Do you think your mother's going to live forever, or she'll just keep on doing your duty for you? I don't know. I know it's a fair on my mother. I know I should return if only for her sake, but what? You'd rather hang out here playing housewife to some human? What's wrong with that? I like it here, okay? I enjoy human culture far more than my own. There's no hunting, no sacrificing the weak, no fighting over food, or warmth, or constant power struggles. So why shouldn't I stay here? What does our pack have to offer that's so special? It isn't about what the pack can offer you, it's about what you can offer the pack. I can't expect you to lead them, just as your father did before you, and your mother's doing right now. Are you going to let them all down because of your own selfishness? Why shouldn't I? I'm sick and tired of being everyone's princess and being held on some kind of pedestal because of who my father was. I understand it. I don't want to be a leader. Just because everyone keeps saying I'll be the next pack leader doesn't mean I make it true. All I want is to live out my days in peace like a human. Slap. Thunder chatter dies down in an instant. All that can be heard through the cabin is the echo of Fuyu's palm striking the Mirari's cheek. Unsure of whether I should step in or not, I remain frozen in the spot, watching silently to see who will make the first move. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for letting you all down like this. but my mind is made up. I will not return to the pack. Fine, have it your way, princess. We'll be better off without selfish human sympathizer like you leading us anyway. Fuyu pushes past Morari and heads for the door. Without saying another word, Morari rubs her cheek, quietly fighting back tears as she tries to remain strong. Comfort Morari, because she's the one I like the most. Once Fuyu has left the cabin, I make my presence known. Walk straight over to Morari and kneel down in front of her, bringing my face to her level as she sits on the couch and quietly sobs. Topsy, how long were you? Long enough. Sorry I didn't mean to eavesdrop. No, it's nothing you need to apologize for. This is your home. You have a right to hear any conversation which takes place within these walls. Morari straightens her back and looks at me as she talks, but soon begins to slouch forward. Even if my presence is a welcome distraction, it isn't enough to make her forget about her worries. So, that fight you and Fuyu just had. It wasn't a fight. Morari speaks forcefully as she shakes her head. We were simply reaffirming one another's positions. That conversation was long overdue. I see. Do your conversations normally end with Fuyu hitting you? Morari immediately opens her mouth to deny my claim, but instead finds herself without words. Whether she cares to admit it or not, Morari's conversation with Fuyu didn't end well. So you saw that? I could have heard it from outside. Why didn't you defend yourself? Having a difference of opinion is one thing, but getting physical is a bit much even for Fuyu. No, you're wrong. Even if Fuyu had left lacerations across my face, it still wouldn't be anywhere near enough to punish me for what I've done. You mean for running away from home? If so, then I still think it is all rather extreme, even if Fuyu's mad about you, leaving her behind. There's no reason to get physical. Besides, you shouldn't have to go along with what everyone else expects you to do just because you don't want them to let them down. Nobody gets to tell you how to live. You have to make your own life decisions, even if other people don't agree with them. And boy, will they disagree with you. My ears are still ringing from the chatting I got when I announced that I'd be moving out here. Thank you for your kind words, Topsy, but I'm afraid my situation isn't so simple. And of all the people affected by my decision, Fuyu is the one person whom I'll never be able to speak about this matter on equal ground. Aurora looks at a soft sigh, then looks up at my face. Do you remember how I told you about Fuyu being a runt and her family going to great lengths in order to rejoin the pack after raising her all on their own? The way I see it, Fuyu's family have already gone through so much because of my parents. They were forced to choose between the pack and their only daughter. They were exiled, and then they were made servile upon their return. Despite being treated so poorly, Fuyu's family have abided by the laws of the pack every step of the way. They are well hotter than any other member of the pack. They're willing to do anything to ensure their survival, and not once have they spoken ill of my parents. And yet, Aurora casts her gaze downwards once more. She begins to grasp at the hem of her dress. Those people who were once exiled have done everything in their power to make our pack what it is today. On the other hand, I, the daughter of the current and previous pack leaders, want nothing more than to leave it all behind. Sorry. Checking something real quick. Everything they've been through, everything they've endured, it was all for something I now want to discard. When I think about it like that, I can't even begin to imagine how you must feel. For someone like me, who has been handed everything in life, to willingly throw away everything that she and her family have worked so hard to protect. If I were in Fuyu's place, a mere slap wouldn't even begin to convey my ire. Morari fights back tears as her hands begin to tremble. Despite her resolution to leave the pack, she understands all too well what her departure will mean for those left behind. She feels guilty for putting her own happiness first. I understand that feeling. I see. It's a difficult position to be in, but believe it or not, I understand your feelings better than you think. My feelings? No, but Fuyu is the one. Marori stops mid-sentence as I suddenly sit beside her and place my hand over hers. Marori, you're a good friend for thinking about Fuyu's feelings to this degree. There are plenty of people in this world who have just left their friend and family behind without giving it a second thought. In that regard, you've already done right by Fuyu. But you know, even if you're worried about how Fuyu feels, you can't let her happiness trample over your own. Nothing good will come from you forcing yourself to take over for your parents. You won't be happy, the pack won't be happy, and Fuyu definitely won't be happy. Right now, you're probably thinking that caving into their demands would be the easiest way to make everything turn out okay. You're thinking that if you gave up your own dreams and stopped being selfish, that everybody would be happy. But you know, reality is never that kind. Marori peers up at my face silently as I continue to speak. Even if she can't bring herself to agree with everything that I'm saying, she's at least willing to hear me out until the end. Marori, do you know why I live out here? All alone in the middle of nowhere, far away from the nearest human settlement? If I recall correctly, you said previously that it's because you don't get along well with others. That's the short version of it, yeah, but the truth is, it's a bit more complicated than that. See, before I moved out here, I was in a situation similar to yours. Not as far as being a princess and becoming a pack leader are concerned, but in terms of my parents' death and legacy. My parents always wanted me to take over the family business. As their eldest son, they just naturally assumed that I would follow in their footsteps. They trained me, made me work for them part-time throughout high school and college, and tried to micromanage every aspect of my life. I'd made it well into my teens without a single shred of enjoyment or free time to have to myself. My life was lived all according to their whims. But when the time came for me to take over as directed in their will, I finally realized something. What they wanted me to do didn't matter, and they couldn't make me do their bidding anymore. My parents are dead, and anything I do or don't do doesn't matter to them in the slightest. The only person whose life my decision will shape is my own, and if I'm going to live my life, I'm doing it my way. Coming to that conclusion, I sold the family business despite the protests of my relatives, and got the hell out of there as quickly as I could. I moved out here, away from everyone and everything, and despite the hardships of living out here, I can honestly say that I've never been happier. For the first time in my life, I'm free. My decisions are my own, my schedule is my own, and there's nobody around to tell me what I can or can't do. Take a deep breath as I finally finish talking. Talking about myself at length has tired me out, but going by the smile on Marori's lips, it seems to have had the desired effect. That's an amazing story, Topsy. I don't quite understand everything you said, but from what I've gathered, our situations are actually quite similar. And while it may be insensitive of me to say this, in light of your family situation, I'm glad to hear that we are alike. Marori leans on my shoulder, resting more and more out of her body weight on me as she continues to settle down. Rather than respond to my story verbally, or bringing her up her talk with me once more, Marori seems content to simply sit beside me and resting on my arm. And for the time being, I'm happy to do the same. I realize that her problems won't vanish after a single talk. Her relationship with Fuyu will magically become less complicated, and the matter of leading their pack isn't going to...